Hey everybody, Animal Man here. Today we're going to be working on my food forest I'm trying to create next to my house. We're going to be installing this beautiful Santa Rosa Plum, and we're going to put it right here in front of us. And here's our little plum tree we're going to plant, and we need a bucket with some compost, shovel, and some rotten logs. So I'm going to start by getting this hole started, and I usually try to do about 2 foot by 2 foot, and the hardest part is just getting through the initial layer. There's trees nearby, there's roots in here that I've got to kind of get through the roots and get through all the grass roots that are here too. It's okay that there's roots in here because there's 2 pretty big maple trees right next to me. They're going to end up coming out next year, but we're leaving them in now while these trees are all getting established over the winter. And the reason why is they're not going to block out the sun because there's no leaves on them, and these plants are all going to be in hibernation anyway, but it'll give the roots a chance to establish, and then next year in the springtime I'm going to get rid of those trees, and as all the trees' roots rot and they're spread all throughout this area, they're going to rot, and all the beneficial microorganisms down there that are already down there are going to then go to the spots where these new trees are and begin to help them out. And also the roots that are down here will have, they'll be rotting there, and our new fruit tree roots will then have areas where they can easily get through and spread out also. It's like they already created little pathways underground that these trees don't have to work so hard to get through. So the purpose of putting rotten logs in here, several things. Number one, it's plant food. It's food for our fruit tree. As this rots, the microorganisms that are already in here, the fungi that are in here, are going to help to feed our roots of our tree. So you need less fertilizer, and also gives the roots of the tree an easy place to burrow through, to get into, to start spreading out under there. So it's a great thing to do. I always do this when I put my trees in. The second thing this does, which is kind of cool, is it'll be no surprise to you if you ever had rotten logs, laying around, and you pick them up. They're always kind of moist. They're falling apart. They're crumbly. Insects love it. So it's like a natural wick. It's like a sponge. So when these are in there, they absorb moisture from the soil around the tree, and they create almost like a little area where the tree can send roots down just to get a drink, to get moisture. So it's like your own personal little wick for each tree, and that'll help it to get hydrated, and you need to water them less. So I'm going to put some more in that hole, a few more little ones. Our wheelbarrow. That one there. And that looks good. Alright, so now we're going to get the tree out. Get it out of the pot, drop it right in there on top of the logs. Just loosen it gently. Let's see. The roots aren't balled up that bad, so I'm not going to really disturb them. I'm going to just put this right in that hole. I need to adjust it so it's semi-level. I'm going to put this in here just to raise it up. I want it just a little bit higher because this comes from grafted rootstock, and I don't want the graft union, which is right here, to end up being underneath the ground level in this garden bed, because then what will happen is the root will start to sucker, and we'll get a bunch of other plums coming up that aren't Santa Rosa plums. They'll be whatever that rootstock is, and I don't know, it's mystery rootstock. Get that in there. So now we're going to fill in the rest of the hole with a combination of the dirt we took out of the hole and our compost. And you make sure you jiggle those logs around, make sure they get in there on the logs. You don't have too many huge air holes. So now we've got this almost all the way filled back in. Just going to pat it down. I always step on it just to get it down even more. Compress it. Looks good to me. The last thing is we're going to water it. We'll water it in.